Hey, sup fam. It's been a hot minute, hasn't it? Now I know I haven't really done any builds on this channel since Sunbreak launched, and honestly I did have a whole format ready for you guys. But then life kinda got a bit hectic, and then with Title Update 1 changing everything, I had to go back to the drawing board with how I was going to present this information to you. So for this new series, I'm going to be presenting you two versions of the same build that accomplish essentially the same result. One set is going to outline everything I did to make that set work, which includes the curio crafting. And at the end of the video, I'm going to present you with a thrifty version of that same set that doesn't require any of that curio crafting RNG stuff. So, for this first video, I did want to present a weapon that received so much love in Sunbreak. If Monster Hunter Rise gave the world to longsword players, Sunbreak's doing the exact same thing to Switch Axe mains. And this is hands down the best iteration of the weapon since Monster Hunter Tri. Now for those of you that might get the reference, I'm going to be calling this build Manly DEE-PEE-A. We're going to have the manliest of DPS. And to date, this is the strongest Switch Axe build that I've put together in Sunbreak. And unless the following title updates really flip it up a bit, or even flip it up a lot, I see this build dominating for a long time. It focuses on one basic principle. It's what every monster is weak against. Pure, raw, unadulterated damage. While elemental builds shine so bright in Sunbreak, if you can squeeze as much damage into your set, it can hit some seriously impressive numbers. So for the first episode of my Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak Mixed-set Series, we're going to look at the mighty morphing powerhouse of DPS, the Switch Axe. First off, let's outline the gear we're going to be running here. The weapon is going to be the Vengeful Fellcleave, the Scorn Magnum Switch Axe, with an attack boost level 3 augment. The headpiece is going to come from the Gold Rathian armor, which is the Golden Loon Helm. We're going to augment it for +1 in protective polish. The chest and waist are going to come from Violet Mizutsune's Onmyo set. We're going to augment the chest with +1 crit boost, and on the waist we're going to put an additional level of agitator on it. The arms come from Valstrax. We're going to be augmenting 2 additional level 1 decoration slots and removing Dragonheart. Now, if you're curious about that, I opted for removing Dragonheart because I was getting sick and tired of worrying about losing my weapon status when my health drops below 50%. For the legs, we're going to run the Risen Mizuha Gators, and we're going to augment it to upgrade one of the level 1 slots and turn it into a level 2 slot. The talisman we're going to be running is an Attack Boost 3 with Evade Extender 2, and this is a fairly tall order because this is a very good talisman. It also has 2 level 1 deco slots. And while this may be a bit harder for some people to find, if you can find a similar talisman that's valued at 5 level 2 deco skills, you should at least get somewhat close with what I'm trying to accomplish here. For our decorations, we're going to be slotting in 4 attack decos, 3 steadfast decos, 2 crit and 2 grinder decos, 1 each of the following: sharp 4, quick switch 4, quick switch 2, chain, challenger, spirit bird call, and brace. What this ends up doing is giving us the following skills: 7 points in attack boost, 5 in agitator, 3 points in crit boost, weakness exploit, protective polish, stun res, rapid morph, and burst. We're also going to have 2 points in stamina surge, evade window and extender, speed sharpening, embolden, and status trigger. Now the following skills will have 1 point each in it: flinch free, Chameleos blessing, adrenaline rush, Spirit Bird Call, Foray, and Build-Up Boost. As a quick side note, if you're going to be going into any of the arena hunts and get the Rainbow Spirit Bird, you could actually swap out that Spirit Bird Call deco for a Grinder deco and get the full effects of Speed Sharpening 3. Anyways, so let's get into how this set's going to work. This set works by leveraging all the damage skills at your disposal. We have max in attack boost, max in agitator, and this ensures we get a +30 attack boost with the 10 from attack boost and 20 in agitator, with a 15% affinity boost when the monster is angry. We also get a 10% boost to attack thanks for going all in with attack boost. Burst 3 will boost your attack exponentially when you're going to run an aggressive playstyle, which is really useful for Switch Axe players and honestly my preferred way to play Switch Axe. Now before going into Sunbreak, Agitator was more so a hit and miss skill for me. Now, whether you loved it or hated it, the Clutch Claw in Iceborne gave hunters a surefire way to proc Agitator. But finally, with the second title update, we have the new skill Embolden. It's a skill that increases the likelihood of a monster becoming enraged when it targets you, effectively increasing your defense while actively activating Agitator. This is an amazing skill that helps you not just boost your damage, but also boost the damage of your party members that also run Agitator. If at least one hunter is running Embolden, your Agitator uptime goes up considerably compared to hunts without. To further boost damage, we're going to be pairing Embolden with the 2 points of Evade window and a status trigger, Adrenaline Rush, with build-up boost. Embolden 2 basically gives you essentially the equivalent of Evade window 3. This plus the Evade window 2 you have with the armor essentially gives you the same value as running Evade window 5. Unfortunately, Embolden's evasion stat does not stack if you have max Evade window, so running any more Evade window would mostly just be a waste. Status Trigger works by turning all your hits into status building hits. Normally, status buildup, like Blast, will only proc in about 1 in every 3 hits. But performing a perfect evade will give us an 8-second window at level 2, where every single one of your attacks will build up a status. This ends up also working with build-up boost, and at just level 1 we get a 10% boost in attack power for all attacks that build up at normal status. So if you're following me here, we proc status trigger, and then for those 8 seconds you have a 10% boost to your attack power. It might only seem like a small window of time, but any skilled Switch Axe player could be able to utilize that very well. Adrenaline Rush is also on this set. This gives you plus 10 to your attack, which is a nice skill that comes in handy, especially since you're going to be dodging anyways. And of course, we're going to be running the Weakness Exploit and Crit Boost skills to boost that damage even further. You may be wondering why I'm not running full Critical Eye here though. And the main reason is that, in my opinion, building up Affinity is so easy to do in Rise. Just having a Fighter Palico can get you a 30% boost in Affinity when it uses Rousing Roar. Plus, we have all that endemic life on the map that also can boost your Affinity. And, in my opinion, I can sacrifice some crit consistency for that pure damage output. You'll notice that I didn't outline which switch kills that I think you should use on your scrolls for this one. And honestly, you can run whatever you want, because it's mostly about your gameplay, and everyone has different opinions on the switch skills that they use. But here's what I run on my set, and maybe you're going to kind of find a value in this as well. On the red one, I'm running Forward Overhead Slash, Finishing Discharge, 2-stage Morph, Soaring Wyvern Blade, and the Elemental Burst counter. On blue, I'm still running Forward Overhead and the 2-stage Morph, but I swap in Compressed Finishing Discharge, Wire Step, and Switch Charger. I use a red scroll as my primary damage counterplay scroll. If I notice a monster gearing up for a big attack, I go into the Elemental Burst counter to hit that big damage, which will also boost my weapon's amp stage. As for jumping in the blue scroll, I tend to use that mostly when a monster is down, CC'd, or anything that kind of gives me an open window. What I do with that, I'll use Switch Charger to close the gap between myself and the monster, follow up with a Morph Slash in a sword mode, and then hit the Compressed Finishing Discharge. This works out because of the synergy between Switch Charger and Compressed Finishing Discharge. Switch Charger gives you a small window where you're not going to expend any file energy when you use it. Going into sword mode and then hitting that Compressed Finishing Discharge will essentially make it so you don't lose any file energy, but then boost up your amp stage if it's not quite maxed out yet. As for Wire Step, it's just a really fun move in my opinion. Even without all the evasion on this set, Wire Step has just a ridiculous amount of iframes. Now for those of you who may not have the same mats that I do, or the same luck that I had with Curio Crafting, I have the following thrifty build for you. No QC required. So pause the video if you need a moment. And with that, folks, we have the first episode in the books. Thank you very much for tuning in, and as always, I do appreciate you checking out my content. If you want to catch me live, you can usually find me 3 days a week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on Twitch. You can also hit me up on all my socials. I love talking Monster Hunter and would greatly appreciate you if you check me out on all my outlets. I'd love to hear from you, so please share your thoughts down below in the comment section, and make sure to hit that subscribe and, as the kids say, smash that bell icon. Actually, do the kids still say smash that bell icon? Is that a thing? Anyways, once again, it's been my absolute pleasure to share the random sets that I build with you. Look forward to more content coming soon. And until next time, you stay frosty, hunters, and as always, get lifted.